Hi, you guys. Today we get to talk about poetry, tea time, and enrichment, and I'm so excited to share what we're doing. Welcome to my channel, Homeschool at Heart. I am Leah. If you don't know, I am homeschool mom to 3 children, all girls, ages 10, 9, and 7. She just turned 7. And today we're going to be talking about poetry tea time. This is an exciting topic for us. It is National Poetry Month, so we've been doing some extra poetry kinds of things in our morning time, and then decided to go and do a little bit extra and kind of pull that together with some stuff that we're doing in our real after school lives. My husband and I are in a musical production of Pride and Prejudice, which coincidentally, not to like brag or anything, but I wrote the script for. This is the 3rd time in the last 12 years that this production has been performed here in Southern California. And my first time getting to actually be part of the cast. So we're having a really good time with that. And my favorite author is Jane Austen. In fact, my children have been named after 3 of the characters in the books. And so I really wanted to spend some time introducing the story to my kids. So we found some really, I've been stockpiling for years books about Pride and Prejudice and Jane Austen, but I also found some really great children's resources for bringing that story to life for the kids. So you'll see a lot of that in this video, and I will link some of those things below, whatever I can find the links for. So here we go. You get to see what we did for Poetry Tea Time. This video is part of an open collaboration called the Homeschool Show and Tell. It is hosted by Jessica Waldock from the Waldock Way and Abby from Rooted and Rest. Every month, a whole bunch of homeschool moms get together and make YouTube videos and share them. And those 2 ladies are so kind for being our hosts. I will post the playlist in the description box below so you can find all of those awesome videos. These are some of the resources that I have been just kind of compiling over the years. There's some children's picture books. These are some etiquette and good manners books. I have a Write Your Own Poems by Usborne book that we're using. Lots of Jane Austen Treasury. There's a cookbook, some paper dolls, things like that. Even a magnetized poetry Jane Austen collection to make your own Jane Austen themed poetry.
How about you?
Yes, please. My tea is pink.
Okay, and you want this tea, right?
Yeah. My tea is yellow.
All right, what would you like to eat?
Can I please have a cucumber sandwich?
Anything else? You want some grapes?
Yes, please. And some blueberries.
So what you see me serving here is pink lemonade, apple juice, and then we made a few little finger sandwiches, some leftover brownies from our small group, fruit, and then I used some cookie cutters to cut out some pound cake to make it look a little bit fancy and put a little bit of just colored sugar on the top.
I'll just eat this right away.
What do you think, you guys?
These grapes are exquisite. It is lovely.
Beth has her mouth full.
Have you been reading anything interesting lately?
Well, I have been reading The Endling, the second book, the first. Endling, the first.
Very nice.
And I have been reading the Sisters Grimm, and it's proven to be very enchanting.
That is marvelous. It is important to expand your mind by reading numerous books.
But our books are fiction. Does it still do that?
That is an interesting question. Do you know the difference between fiction and non-fiction? Fiction is a made-up story. Non-fiction is supposed to be something that actually happened. Do you think you can learn anything from a made-up story?
Maybe not. Maybe lessons, life lessons like in the Aesop fables.
That is a very good point.
It was extra fun that Daddy got to be a part of our poetry tea time. We love the fact that he works from home and can join us from time to time. He gave us a quick little history and geography lesson before we jumped into literature and sewing. What are you guys doing?
We have raspberry fingers.
Beth, what are you drinking today? What kind of tea do you have?
Pink lemonade, but I think it's actually raspberry cordial.
Raspberry cordial. How
Maybe
about you
strawberry.
guys? What do you guys have in your cups?
I had lemonade, but now I just have some water in there. I have yellow tea.
Yellow tea? What is it though?
Apple juice.
Apple juice. What do you have, Daddy?
I have glazed lemon loaf.
Oh, I guess you
I
actually
finished
don't
it.
have it. Wah wah.
Pride and Prejudice is the story of Elizabeth Bennet and her four sisters. Their mother worries about their future. With no son to inherit the house when Mr. Bennet dies, everything will go to a pompous cousin, and the sister will be homeless. In Jane Austen's time, women couldn't inherit houses or money. And most middle and upper class women didn't have jobs, so it was seen as important for them to get married. Will Mrs. Bennet be on? With Mrs. Bennet on the lookout for rich husbands, do Elizabeth and her sisters have any chance of finding love?
Okay.
I had bought each of the girls a cute little sewing kit to learn some hand sewing before we move on to the sewing machine. And I thought this was a good time to pull those out. We're reading a really cute kids version of Pride and Prejudice, which I will link in the description box. But I always like to give them things to do while I am reading to keep them from kind of fighting with each other or losing focus. And so they had the choice of doing their sewing or doing the little paper dolls that you saw before.
I sewed the wrong piece together.
So Charlotte's doing a little strawberry purse. Elliot is doing a stuffed dragon, and Beth is doing a little stuffed mermaid.
Under the sea. Under the
Chapter 1. Mrs. Bennet was in a very good mood. She had just discovered that a rich man named Bingley had rented the largest house in her neighborhood. Why should that be such a good news for us? Why should that be such good news for us? Asked Mr. Bennet. He was trying to read his newspaper and growing tired of his wife's excitement. Oh, Mr. Bennet, cried Mrs. Bennet, because a single man of good fortune must be in want of a wife, and we have 5 daughters. Okay, so we have prancing, glancing, chancing. What other word do you think might rhyme with those?
Prancing?
I'm thinking of a word that starts with a D.
dancing.
Dancing! We were just talking about dancing in the Pride and Prejudice book. How fun! Okay, here's my poem. There once was a girl named Beth. Her mother loved her to death. She loved to read books and give silly looks and sing till she ran out of breath.
Jane Austen with a handsome gentleman. It is so romantic.
What do you think?
La, 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 la. Ah.
There's Mr. Darcy. Oh, he has a hat.
Hello, darling. I am no darling. I'm not your darling. I'm Elizabeth Bennet. Who are you? No, he's Mr. Darcy. Yeah, but she doesn't like him at the beginning of the story, remember? All right.
Well, I hope you guys had a really good time watching us have poetry tea time today. We had a really great time doing it, and I foresee us doing that many more times in the future. It was just a really fun time of connection and learning and kind of bringing the best of both of those worlds together. I hope that you will like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can see all of the fun stuff that we have coming up. We really enjoy our lives as homeschoolers and really enjoy sharing what we're doing with you. So we'll see you in our next video.